Clearwater. Again, you can call them at 726-0523. Forgive me. They're back to the phones we go. Pinellas Park. Hi, Pinellas. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Bob.
Hi.
I'll be very brief. I have some advice. It's about you. It's not for you. It's very simple. I think the management of your station has made a major mistake. NBC does not preempt Cosby. You belong during the noon to 3 slot.
No, I don't, sir.
You get preempted way too much.
No, I don't belong. I've always, except for 2 relatively short periods in my career, sir, worked afternoon drive.
But still, I mean, let's face it.
No, sir,
and I'm not trying to blow smoke at you.
You just haven't adjusted yet, sir. That's all.
Yeah, but every time you turn around, how many minutes an hour are you on now? I mean, every time you turn around, you get halfway through a conversation, you get interrupted.
I have the same number of breaks that I had during noon to 3. They're just ever so slightly longer.
Well,
it's all your perception, sir. It's your perception. It's the same number of breaks.
Can I ask you one other question while I've got you on the phone? It has to do with along the same vein. Wouldn't somebody like yourself, who has a little bit of drawing power, be better off being on the station at night?
No, sir.
Wouldn't that be better for the station in the long run?
No, sir. The universe is much, much smaller. You have a third of the available audience at night that you have in the daytime.
It just seems to me that there are all these very...
Sir, I just got finished telling you. You have a third of the available audience at night that you have in the daytime. People don't listen to radio at night.
But why is it that other stations, including yourself, try and bring in these big names at night then? Such as Sally, Jesse Raphael,
Bruce
Williams?
Because it costs us absolutely nothing, sir. They pay us to run. They literally pay us to be on.
Then that's another ball game, isn't it?
Sure
all right, well,
is.
thank you for your time, Bob.
Okay, take care. 990-9352 in Hillsborough. Actually, there's only one line open. It's in Pinellas. That number, 461-9352, 461 WFLA. Tampa. Hi, Tampa. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hi, Bob.
Hi.
I've been listening to you for a while, and I think these conversational commercials are cramping your style. You're not as fun with this stuff on. Even I think you're getting tired of doing it.
No, sir, I'm not getting tired of doing them. Don't try to speak for me, please.
Well, it sounds like to me, you used to do them, they were fun, you had something different to say. Now it sounds like you're just reading them.
I'm not reading them, sir.
Oh, well, that's my opinion.
Okay.
And I'm one of the people that fills out the cards, so...
Mm-hmm. What card, sir? What card, sir, do you fill out? Pity poo. He hung up with a threat. I'm one of the people that fills out the cards. Sir, if you're referring to the Arbitron diary, it's not a card, and I'm not in the least bit concerned. Tampa, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Good afternoon, magnificent one.
Good afternoon, sir.
Just 2 opinions or 2 suggestions on Lionel and Liz. I'd like to see Lionel give it up and go get a job. Go back to chasing ambulances. And as far as Liz, maybe somewhere out there might be a husband for her, and she could get off the dime and be a normal person.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. 2 lines open, both in Hillsborough, 990-9352, 990-WFLA. Tampa, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lassiter.
Afternoon, Tampa.
I have some comments on 4 of your hosts.
Okay.
Let's begin with Liz. I think Liz either needs to do one of 4 things. She should either go back to school, go back on the street. Somehow she needs to gather a little more knowledge from which she can form some opinions that are worth something. Maybe a suggestion is that she could start watching the evening news rather than watching Wheel of Fortune or perhaps opening a newspaper. My next comment's on Al Gardner. I kind of feel badly about saying this, but Al's such a nice guy, but he is so sickeningly sweet that I've begun listening to All Things Considered instead of his morning program. On Lionel, Lionel, I feel, started out with a great deal of promise for the first couple of weeks, but he has really disappointed me. I think he's resting on his laurels. He is not well prepared for his shows. He doesn't have any thought-provoking topics as you do often, and I've also noticed he seems to have a chronic nasal problem, and maybe he should stay away from the square grouper. I don't know. The final comments on Ted Webb. I think maybe if Ted could make an effort to come across as just a little more sexist, that he might get a crowd of nothing but jocks, and that would certainly be successful for his sports show. And he should maybe make a little more effort. And finally, I wish he'd do a little more coverage on hockey.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
Hey, nothing like a happy listener, is there? Nothing at all like a happy listener. 3:49 the time, 990-9352 in Hillsborough, 990-WFLA. We are giving advice to the stars today. It seems that so often stars give advice to us, but not today. It's advice to the stars today. Speaking of stars, Don Richards standing by at the WFLA News Desk. Don.
New owners for Eastern.
Pushing it a little bit too far until I got to thinking about it. All summer long, that air conditioner comes on, it goes off, it comes on, it goes off, it comes on, it goes off. And almost every time it does that, what it is doing is building up condensation, building up moisture inside of it. And when you look at the crap, and I do mean the crap, that's on the filter of your air conditioning system, you think about that getting inside the ducts and mixing with the moisture, it doesn't take a great deal of imagination to conceive how such things could be living inside of your air conditioning system. Well, you see, that's where Master Care Maintenance comes in. They vacuum the ducts, they seal them, and replace the filters with high-tech filters that allow virtually nothing to pass through. Master Care Maintenance. If there's been a little bit too much coughing, a little bit too much wheezing, a little bit too much sickness in your house or your office building or store, whatever, then you owe it to yourself to get in touch with Master Care Maintenance. 1-800-442-DUST. 1-800-442-DUST. Master Care Maintenance. Okay, let's go to Temple Terrace. Hi there, Temple. You're on the air.
Yeah.
Fine.
I figured you guys left me on hold or something because I told him I had a surprise for you. I figured.
No, sir, that's how long it takes. You know, I got other people, too.
Well, I figured he had a surprise for me and left me on the line.
No, sir, we don't do that.
Oh, you don't do that?
No, sir. Did you have something that you wanted to say?
Yeah, I've got some advice for you.
Great.
The guy called earlier stating about, he had a question about talk radio and what the purpose of it was, and it's for people to call in, express their views, but a lot of your callers...
No, talk radio is for whatever you want it to be, sir.
Yeah, but a lot of people that call in to talk to you, you treat them like garbage.
Yes, I do, sir. That's right.
They have comments, and you don't want to hear them unless it's something you agree with. Why is that?
No, sir, actually, I don't want to hear things that I agree with. I want to hear things that I disagree with. That's what makes the show.
Yeah, so why when some people call in and they have something to say, you hang up on them?
I don't, sir.
Or you make them look like a mouse or something?
Well, I do my best to make them look like fools. You're right, sir.
Yeah, but that's not good, though. Is that why they call you Mad Dog?
No, sir, it's why I have the highest numbers in the market.
That's not good, though.
Well, yes, it is, sir. It's very good. That's why people go out of their way to listen to hear. People like you, for example, get caught in my web.
Caught in your web? What's that?
My web.
What's your web?
I'm sure you couldn't begin to imagine, sir.
Yeah, and Lassiter in your living room. I wouldn't invite you to my living room.
Great, sir. I wouldn't go to yours.
I'd give you some serious milking cookies.
You find yourself very amusing. Do you?
Yeah,
what, are you looking in the mirror or are you looking down in your lap? Off it is now to St. Petersburg. Saint, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Good afternoon, Bob. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Great. The reason I'm calling is because I have a little bit of comment about how you run your show. And I know you think it's your show, but it really is the people's show because you're
no, sir. No, sir. It's my show. Let's not kid ourselves.
Okay. How do you get your numbers that you get, Bob? Through the Arbitron ratings. Am I not correct?
No, sir. You're quite wrong. I get the numbers that I get by putting on a good show, which is measured and reflected in the Arbitron.
You're right. Okay.
I know I'm right, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Well, the people are the ones where the Arbitron get their ratings from. So the people who basically can get together and not listen
to
your
show. Sir, I'm very well aware of how the ratings are contrived or
well, good. I'm just refreshing your memory here for a second.
No, my memory doesn't need any refreshing, sir, so just tell me what your advice for my show is.
Well, I think that you should be a little nicer to some of your guests because they do have intelligent comments to make about your show.
I mean, like yours.
Of course, like mine.
Right, get off my phone, you jerk. Off we go now to St. Petersburg. Saint, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Oh, hello.
Hi there. I like that one, too. I like a woman with a good sense of humor.
Okay. I have some advice for Bill Ratliff.
Okay.
I wish he'd express his opinion a little more. He lets people kind of walk all over him in the show. They make ridiculous, offensive statements, and they just kind of get away with it. It really makes me angry. It's sort of like an interview with him, kind of too neutral. Anyway, and Lionel should pretend to be more sincere. I know he's not, really. He kind of sucks up to people. He's so glib. And they react like lost little puppies, wagging their tails. No, they all love him and stuff. It's just like a big joke, really. I really can't listen to it. You know what they should do is replay old shows of yours during the weekend. That doesn't
They don't exist.
Huh?
They do not exist.
Oh, they don't? Don't you have tapes or anything?
Nope.
Oh, too bad. because now I realize that the time is off.
Besides, they would have a very serious problem with me if they tried to replay them. Because, first of all, I'd want to be compensated outrageously for it, and secondly, there's such a thing as overexposure.
Yeah, I guess. But some of the old ones, from years ago, 2 years ago?
Well, first of all, the station doesn't even own them.
Oh.
That was another station 2 years ago.
Oh, that was.
That station no longer exists.
Well, it's too bad. I kind of miss you on the weekends because I don't always get to listen to you during the week.
Well, I understand that, and I appreciate it.
Okay. Oh, one more thing.
Yeah.
Tim Coles.
Oh, Jim Knowles, yeah.
He has got to get in the real world as far as women are concerned. I mean, he's so infuriating.
You've never seen Coles around his wife.
Well,
You've never seen Coles jump. And I mean jump. Oh, yes, dear. Yes, dear. Let me get them for you. Let me fluff your pillow for you, dear. And I got you some water, dear. May I assist you in breathing, dear? Anything, dear.
So this is a bit of revenge, I guess, huh?
It's really a joke. It's an absolute joke if you had ever seen Tim around his wife with all of those horrible sexist and macho things that he says on the air.
Well, I'm glad to hear that anyway. At least it is just a joke, and maybe it makes people call him and yell at him or something. A little bit of controversy never hurt, I suppose.
I'm really surprised his wife lets him do it.
Yeah, I know. maybe he pays in a way we don't know.
Because, I take a fair amount of heat from Mrs. Lassiter. And I can't begin to imagine the way Tim treats his wife and behaves around his wife, why he doesn't take some serious heat.
Well, he might.
Maybe get his allowance curtailed or something.
He might. We just don't know.
Could be.
Who knows? Okay.
Who knows?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
2 lines available, one in each county, 990-9352 in Hillsborough, 461-9352 in Pinellas. It's advice to the Stars Day, but you've got to be careful how you do it. Now, if you're giving advice to me, don't insult me because, it's instinct. It's instinct. I'm going to have to come back, I don't mean to be that way. It's the way I am. Say stupid things like, intelligent people are trying to give you advice. Oh, like yourself, you mean? Oh, yeah, it's like me. Well, what else can I do but hang up on you? Second hour, 12 minutes after the hour, 4 o'clock, Thursday, April the 6th, 1989, a very, very historic day not only in the market, but in the entire broadcast industry. Your opportunity to give advice to the stars. Yes, I'm talking about all of those stars of talk radio. No longer do you have to call up on someone else's show and try to, get your jabs in. Things like, hello, Lionel, enjoy yourself. That Liz Richards, I want to tell you, you don't have to do that. You don't have to call up on someone else. You could do it right here and give advice. You see, it's all under the great auspices of giving advice to the stars. Which, of course, really means you can rip the hell out of anybody you want to rip the hell out of. I mean, I don't care. We are talking about Tim Coles. Who could ever forget Tim Coles and that fraudulent phony accent? I swear. John Eastman, yes, Mr. Bridge. Jack Ellery, hey, Mr. Method there. If he's got such a good method, how come he's working at that stinky little network? I don't understand. Pat Fulton, yes, indeed, the Ladies Show. Al Gardner, Bob Lassiter, Lionel J. Marvin, Sam McClellan, Bill Ratliff, Liz Richards, and Janet, the astrologette Ski Alice. Advice to the stars. Oh, well, let me tell you, there was a very, very, very serious drop-off. Very serious drop-off during the newscast because the advice givers, I guess, just didn't want to stick around. So let me give you the telephone numbers, 990-9352 in Hillsborough, 461-9352 in Pinellas. Off it is to St. Petersburg. Hi there, Saint. You're on the air.
Hello, Bob.
Hi.
Hi. I'd just like to advise you to trade your Lincoln in on a Yugo.
Why's that?
Just because I wanted to.
Oh.
No reason.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
26 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. 26 minutes the lad sat there for that. I'll bet he thought that was clever. I wonder who helped him with that. I'll bet at least 3 of his friends helped him with that. 990-9352 in Hillsborough, 461-9352 in Pinellas. Tampa, you're on the, whoops, wrong one. Let's do that, then do that. Now, Tampa, you're on the air.
Yeah, that's real hardy-hard stuff, that last guy.
It really
Listen, this advice to the stars, I think that's kind of an embellishment.
Embellishment?
Yeah, I think at best it would be advice to the local radio personalities.
Uh-huh.
I think Radcliffe, I think he's great on television, but he's a yawner. He is a real yawner on the radio.
Uh-huh.
I think Lionel is great, and here's a man who just started. He makes it look real easy for the old pros in the business.
Uh-huh.
I think Ted Webb and Al Gardner belong in major markets, the top 4 markets.
Well, this is a major market.
Yeah, well, it's about 17th or 14th, depending on what you're looking at, and I suspect they belong in the top 4 markets.
Well, Ted Webb, by the way, doesn't do a general interest talk show. He's not included in this. But that's
okay. And I think Liz, the poor dear, to be very frank, I think she needs a lobotomy. I don't think she has any right being on television or on the radio.
Doesn't have a right.
Well, she has a right, but she just bores me to tears.
Uh-huh.
And I think you're very good. I would like it if you would prepare a little bit more for your shows. I think that'd be a little more stimulating.
Prepare a little bit more?
Yeah, you try to wing it all the time.
I do?
Yes.
Oh.
And I think your shows would be much better if you prepared a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So that's my opinion, Bob.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. 990-9352 in Hillsborough. 461-9352 in Pinellas. Now to Dunedin. Hi there, Dun. You're on the air.
Okay, Ted and Lionel, they're very good. Now, you should quit. You and Liz should quit. You know why?
I suspect you're going to tell me.
Well, whenever you're on, anyone turns on the radio and they hear you, they turn the radio off because you're so rude.
Well,
you have no manners at all.
Actually, that's not the truth. More people turn the radio on when I am on than any other talk show host.
Well, that's what you think, but believe me, anytime my friends hear your voice, they turn it off right then.
Sir,
you're the rudest man on radio.
Sir, it's not what I think. It happens to be true. Now you may continue with your conversation.
Well, you're so rude, you don't know even how to speak to people.
Well, sir, what does that say of you who just hung up on me? I didn't hang up on you, sir. All I tried to do was correct you when you misspoke. That's not being rude, sir. I didn't want you to look like an ass in front of hundreds of thousands of people on their way home in Tampa Bay. I didn't want people driving home saying, "Boy, that old goat's such a jerk, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about." I was only looking out for your best interest, sir. And you would have me believe that to be rude? One line available. It's in Hillsborough, 990-9352. Why do they try? Tampa, you're on the air. Hi, Tampa.
Hey, Bob.
Hey.
First-time caller.
Hey, great.
And I'd like to start out by first complimenting. I think your show is the most informative of all the shows that are on WFLA.
Well, I certainly agree with that.
And the most entertaining there is.
Oh, clearly.
Because, although you get upset at people and you get a little rude sometimes, I think you are the most entertaining of any of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what keeps me turning on. That's what keeps me listening to you because you're entertaining.
Thank you.
And my advice is, I think that I loved Lionel on weekends. I loved him on Sundays. I'd take my wife shopping, and we'd listen to the radio all day, whatever we're doing. But I don't like him on the weekdays. I think Liz Richards done a good job. She gets a little. She can't seem to form a very direct opinion and get it across very well. I think that's the only advice I have for her. But anyway, I think during the best time slot, I don't think you have to improve, really. And I think you've loosened up a lot over the last couple of weeks. And I like to see a lot of people calling in that are first-time callers, and I like to hear new voices, and just tell everybody to call in.
Okay, everybody call in. Thank you ever so much.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Everybody call in. One line available. It's going to be a little difficult for you to do that, but do the best you can. It's at 990-9352, 990-WFLA. Pinellas Park. Hi there, Pinellas. You're on the air.
Hello, Bob.
Hi.
First-time caller.
Great.
But I've listened to the station a long time.
Uh-huh.
And I think some of those people that called you are so damned ignorant it isn't funny.
Uh-huh. Well, that's not giving me advice, sir.
Well, you do a good job, and
Thank you.
I listen to different programs, and if I don't like something, I turn it off till I put the same program again when I like what they're talking about.
Well, great. Now, who did you want to give advice to?
To you.
Oh.
Just ignore those guys that their mother wanted little flowers and they got a bunch of blooming idiots. So just ignore them. Do the job. You got to make a living, and you're doing a good job at it, and I hope you keep it up.
Okay.
Okay, Bob.
Take care. I'll ignore that advice. Let's see here. 19 minutes after the hour of 4 o'clock. One line open. It's in Vanellas, 461-9352. 461-WFLA. It's Advice to the Stars Day, and of course that means in alphabetical order. Of course, couldn't possibly do it any other way. Tim Coles, John Easton, Jack Ellery, Pat Fulton, Al Gardner, Bob Lassiter, Lionel J. Marvin, Sam McClellan, Bill Ratliff, Liz Richards, and Janet, the astrologist, Gialis. To the sky we go for an airborne WFLA traffic report.
I don't count in there, Bob?
Dangerous traffic reporter,
I don't.
Mr. Yahtzee. Hey, Mr. Yahtzee, how you doing?
How come you didn't mention my name, Bob?
Because this is only for guys that have their own shows.
What about the McHenry Lassiter show last week?
The McHenry Lassiter show last week?
Yeah.
Are you referring to when I got out of bed in the middle of the night to come down and bail your butt out?
The McHenry Lassiter show. I mean, that counts, doesn't it?
Yeah, right, Mr. Yahtzee.
Well, let's see. We've got lots of problems today, so we won't waste time on...
Time to Venice. Hi there, Venice. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hi, Bob. How you doing?
Fine.
Good, sir. Okay, here's my recommendation, starting with Al Gardner. Al, find somebody like Ted Webb, who can no longer be in your morning program, to give you a little bit of a bitter edge to your sweetness in the morning. Since Ted has left the morning show, it's a little bit too vanilla for my taste. I like someone to balance Al out. Also, take your road show on the road once a month as opposed to every week. The quality starts. Just to let you know, I'm in my car from Bob from 7 in the morning to 5:30 in the afternoon. I'm an outside sales, so.
Oh, I thought you were just trying to hide from your wife or something.
Pardon?
I thought maybe you were just trying to hide from your wife or something.
Okay. Secondly, Lionel. Let's see, Lionel. Learn to number one. Just from what I can gather, not knowing anything but reading between the lines, don't dip your pen in the company ink. Number 3, Bob Lassiter. I would love to hear more interviews with people like the guy that did the I Pledge Allegiance to the Lord's Prayer.
Oh, come on, sir. They're precious, few and far between.
Huh?
They're precious, few and far between.
Well, that to me was, that was pure. That was the best. I can't think of anything that was more entertaining and yet really helped the listeners out there understand people like that and educates people to what elements that there is in this society that it's an educational process. But it was pure entertainment in the process. I'd be delighted
to have those people on 12 times a day. If you can find them for me, let me know.
Well, ask Dave Maseko to give you more money for producers that can do that kind of stuff for you.
Their producers cannot make those people up. They have to actually exist.
Well, that to me though is something I would like to see more interviews. The late great Dick Norman used to have people on that were authors that you knew that he did his homework, you knew that he had researched the material, and he asked questions about spy systems from satellites looking down into into cars and things like that. And to me, that was great radio. I loved listening to people that knew stuff that I don't have the time to read about, and it was wonderful. To the late great Dick Norman up there, who's a real star, coming to a dream to Dave Maseko and help him find someone to put in the noon to 3 area that could bring that interview quality back, because the afternoon drive is too busy with all the traffic reports and news reports to really get into serious interviews. And for a person like myself, that talk radio is my companion during the day and helps my day go by. Noon to 3 is when I could use the uplifting interviews, and I'd like to see that area. And to Liz Richards, God bless you. You stay on the weekends, because I don't listen to talk radio on the weekends. And that's about it, Bob.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. One line opened. It's in, where is it? Hillsboro, that's the location. 990-9352. 990-WFLA. It is Give Advice to the Stars Day. Yes, you heard it right, ladies and gentlemen. Your opportunity to give advice to the various different stars of talk radio throughout the entire Tampa Bay area, even on the stations that no one has ever heard of. Even the people that no one has ever heard of on the stations that no one has ever heard of, you can give advice to on Give Advice to the Stars Day. Speaking of stars, speaking of advice, Don Richards standing by the WFLA News Desk. Donald?
And this news brought to you by...
That I have noticed, and I suspect that these two people have noticed too, because, well, actually, no, one of them couldn't. He'll catch on later. But I suspect that an awful lot of my colleagues who showed up on this list are listening in this afternoon. Two of them have not even been mentioned. One or two of them have only been mentioned once, but two of them no one has bothered to mention whatsoever. My colleagues, of course, are the stars of talk radio in the Tampa Bay market, and we are, of course, giving advice to the stars today in reverse, if you will, alphabetical order. Janet, the Astrologette Scialis, Liz Richards, Bill Ratliff, Sam McClellan, Jay Marvin, Lionel, Bob Lassiter, Al Gardner, Pat Fulton, Jack Ellery, John Eastman, and the ever-popular Jim Knowles, otherwise known as Tim Coles. To the phones again we go. Wiki, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hey, Bob.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I just want you, this is for Bob. I want you to stay the way you are, rough, tough, thoughtful, informative, and honest. And for Lionel, I would like him to listen to some of the Lassiter shows and take some lessons from him.
Please, sir.
And, pardon me?
Please, don't. Go ahead, sir.
And if Lionel wants to be a talk show host, let him listen to some of the Lassiter shows. Al Gardner, he's very good. He's A-OK. As far as Liz, let her stay where she is and let her take Sam McClellan with her. That's about it, Bob.
Okay, sir.
Hey, thank you.
Anytime. 990-9352 in Hillsboro. Let's see. We'll go now to Brandon. Hi there, Brandon. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
I'd like to just talk about the way your station's been conducting itself in the last several months.
Well, sir, we're giving advice to the stars.
Okay, well, that's what I want to talk about, the way they're flip-flopping.
Sir.
What?
Obviously not. You don't want to give advice to the stars.
Oh, sure.
You want to give advice to the station. The station's not a star, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, how about the talk show people they're putting in there, like your producers and things like that?
Well, sir, that again is not advice to the stars. I will let you do what you want to do, but let's be honest with each other, sir. You're not playing by the rules.
Oh, I'm not? Well, I thought you meant any talk show air personality you could comment on.
Advice to the stars, sir. That's correct.
Oh, okay. Well, they're putting in these, the people. I'm waiting for you to put one of your janitors on the air next. You put a caller and you call him a star. And then you take your producers and you put them on the air. What's going to be next? Are you going to call on your janitors and your maintenance people to do a show?
Sir,
that's what I'm curious to know.
I do not speak. I do not speak for management, nor is management here to speak for themselves. So why are you asking questions?
Well, okay, now I'll talk about your show there. I think what part of the problem is every time you get a good talk show guy on the air, you scare them away and you start putting them down and arguing with them and things like that. Like that one decent gentleman from Denver that was on the air a little while ago. You started having a little fight with him. I think that he liked it,
no, sir,
and he was going to stay here for a while.
Sir, I had a very major fight with him.
Well, yes, and there was
no
sense.
Matter of fact, sir, I forbid that boy to be on the floor, on the second floor when I was on the air.
You did that?
Yes, I did.
Oh, that was pretty low down and rotten. See, now what kind of...
Right it was, sir. I mean, it was incredibly intimidating, and that little weasel would not come up here until I was finished.
Oh, are you serious about that?
Damn serious about it.
Oh. Well, see, now, you don't do that with everyone that's new that comes to that station, do you? Is that why they're having a problem finding 12 to 3?
Only the despicable little punks.
Well,
the only ones I do it with, sir.
Oh, I don't think he said anything that bad. But that's what I think your problem is. If you leave the other people alone, now poor Liz Richards, I think you banned her to this weekend, so you won't have to see her. The poor helpless woman.
Sir, if I'd had that kind of power, that would have been done October the 18th and not sometime in January.
Oh, are you trying to deny you had anything to do with her being moved out of that spot?
That's correct, sir.
It seemed kind of fishy the way that you put her down real bad, and then she happened to disappear onto a oblivious weekend talk show.
There might have been other factors involved in it, sir, that you're not aware of.
Oh, okay. Well, that's just the way that it kind of appeared to the general public.
Well,
there.
again, like I
but,
said,
once
again, sir, like I said earlier, if indeed I had that kind of power, it would have been done much, much sooner. Gary McHenry with an airborne WFLA traffic report. Gary, let's really run through the traffic reports in a hurry this afternoon so you can give me those Yahtzee lessons.
Oh, yeah, that's tonight?
Well, I hope so.
That's this evening?
Well, let's see, you've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got 6 more traffic. Let's do all of them right now.
Oh, okay. Gandy in Manhattan, South Tampa, that one clearing.
A bit nervous.
Well, nothing to be nervous about.
Okay. Start out with Al Gardner. I listened to him on the way to college in the morning. I think he's real good, and he's got some good things to say. Then there's Lionel. And the man, I just think he's ridiculous.
Ridiculous?
Yeah, I don't care for his program. I wish he would get someone else in his spot.
Well, I don't understand why you're holding, Al Gardner responsible for Lionel.
No, I'd rather have Liz in Lionel's spot, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
I appreciated Liz's openness. I thought she was real friendly, and I enjoyed her. And the astrologist, that Janet. I don't think there's any place for her to be on the radio, so period.
Well, she isn't. She works at WTKN. She's not on the radio.
Well, don't you run her shows on Sundays?
No, we don't.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay, my apologies. And yourself, well, I think you're okay, and you're intelligent.
Yeah.
You tend to be rude, and I have some other comments for you, but I don't want to be one of your...
go ahead.
No.
Oh, come on, go ahead.
Okay. Well, you're not going to give her a rip, which I understand, but I don't really appreciate a lot of your comments about God that you do make on the radio.
What, you don't... Wait a second,
yeah.
You don't appreciate me defending God?
I can see your eyes sparkling now, right? You got one.
You don't appreciate me defending God?
No, what you say about God.
I don't say anything about God. I talk about religion. I defend God. You see, I find it utterly absurd that people, for example, credit God with disliking women. I find it utterly absurd that people credit God with being vengeful and encouraging people to go out and rape and plunder and steal. See, I think that's an awful thing to say about God.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. That's not what I gathered from your...
That's what I've always said.
comments.
I talk about the Bible. The Bible, I think, is a horrible book.
Why?
Because it says all those things about God.
What does it say about God, Bob?
That he doesn't like women.
Where does it say he doesn't like women?
All over the...
No.
I beg your pardon.
I beg to differ.
Well, it does. But
I'll
that's
give you
okay.
a perfect example where in the Bible God lifted up women. When Christ came out of the cave, when he was resurrected, I should say, excuse me. When he was resurrected, the first person to find that the cave was empty was a woman.
Mm-hmm. That's only because she wasn't having her menstrual cycle that day. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been allowed out and about.
Oh, that's hilarious. Funny. Anyway.
No, it's not hilarious. It's what's in the book.
What did you say it said?
It's because she apparently wasn't having her menstrual cycle that she was allowed out and about the community.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I'm sorry, but you see, that's the way people lived back then, and they lived that way because they thought that that's what God wanted, because that's what was in the Old Testament.
The only thing that's really that I understand about a woman's menstrual cycle is that she's not allowed to have sex with her husband.
Well, as a matter of fact, the Old Testament says that God finds it despicable. Oh, he just finds the menstrual cycle awful.
Why do you think he finds it awful?
I don't think he does. You see, that's my whole point. You see, my point is that the Bible was written by men, not by God. Because God wouldn't find a woman's menstrual cycle as an abomination.
I don't believe that the Bible states that.
It does in Ezekiel.
No, it doesn't.
It does, too.
No, it doesn't.
I've read the book.
I have, too.
Apparently not closely enough. It's in Ezekiel. If you'll hold on a second, I'll grab my Bible here and give you a chapter and verse as you're going on.
Okay, and anyways, I'll leave you at that because I know that you feel that way, so that's fine. That's
okay,
your
what else?
opinion. What else? I do appreciate what you said, that you do defend God, and I appreciate that. And you can defend Jesus right along with it, because since he is God's son, I would appreciate some really good comments about Jesus, too.
Well, you see, the only indication that we have that Jesus is God's son comes from the same book that tells us that God doesn't like women's menstrual cycle.
I don't know. That's a little bit... I think it's just for ratings that you're saying that. Because I honestly... I've done studies in the Bible.
That's the silliest damn thing that anybody could say, because everybody that's in this business is in it for ratings. Could you possibly give me the name of one talk show host, one disc jockey, one newscaster who is not in this business for ratings? Why do people say that?
I don't know. I guess it just comes out.
It's a silly thing to say.
Okay.
It truly is. I mean, it's not an insult. It's actually a compliment to say that somebody's doing this for ratings, because that's what we're all doing it for.
I guess that's the real common thoughts come out, you know. But, well, I appreciate you...
6.
Okay, what's it
Again,
say?
the word of the Lord came to me. Son of man, when the people of Israel were living in their own land, they defiled it by their conduct and their actions. Their conduct was like a woman's monthly uncleanliness in my sight.
Well, that doesn't say he despises and thinks it's disgusting.
Yes, it does.
He's saying that
No,
the actions of the people were disgusting and
right.
were vile.
What it says is that the actions of the people reminded him of a woman's menstrual cycle.
Okay, well,
The actions of the people were so vile, so disgusting, it reminded me of a menstrual cycle.
Well,
That's exactly what it says.
Where do you find that that's disgusting? I mean, that God thinks... Now, listen, what is a menstrual cycle?
Do you really think that
Bob.
God finds a woman's menstrual cycle disgusting?
Can I speak? Are you going to let me have it? Okay. When a woman has a menstrual cycle, it's simply cleaning out her body of all the filth.
Exactly. That's
so
right.
that's how God felt about the people, that they were as if they were completely filthy. They were all the vile themselves. So why? I know we're not going to agree, so I'm not trying to do that.
Did God design a woman?
Pardon?
Do you believe that God designed a woman?
Certainly.
Do you believe that God could possibly design anything that was vile?
No.
Then certainly a woman's menstrual cycle couldn't be vile in the eyes of God, could it?
No, and I don't believe it is.
Then why does the book say it is?
The book compares it.
No, ma'am, the book was written by men. Had nothing to do with God.
But it was inspired by God. He inspired the men to write it. And
well, again, you know, as long as you're around, I'm going to have to defend God against you, too.
I guess it sounds like you will, won't you? Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
My comments. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 990-9352 in the Hillsboro. 990-970 WFLA.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, Bob?
Yes.
Bob, well, anyway, I'm not supposed to mention my name, but I keep WFLA on all night long except about 5 hours in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And last night I got to bed around 12:30, and I couldn't sleep. I tossed around. I had my bedroom radio on, and about 2 o'clock this morning on comes Liz Richards at 2 a.m., and I listened to her for 2 seconds and fell asleep. Anyway, Bob, how long have you been on the station?
On this station?
2 years?
Not quite. It's about a year and a half.
Year and a half. Well, a year ago, and I want to say thank you before I tell you this. About a year ago, I had, last July, you were on the air. I went out of the room, and when I came, my windows were open, and my radio, of course, was on. Do you remember yelling? I hope I'm all right saying this. You kept yelling to some guy on the radio, put your PENIS back in your pants. But when I came out of the bedroom, 3 of my men neighbors were rushing up the door. I had the windows open. They wanted to know if I was in need of anybody.
Well, I'm sure they did.
What?
I'm sure they did. I thank you ever so much, Tampa. You're on there at 970 WFLA.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Come on, follow that one, fella.
Amazing. Oh, my God. Anyway, I want to start with Al Gardner. And I like Al. He's pretty good. He says, good morning. It's a little bit too much for me, though. And the one advice I give to him is, when he keeps telling us it's us, the listeners, who makes the program, and to call in, he sure hogs the lines. Never lets too many calls through. As far as that Lionel character, he can stay just like he is. He might do a couple new verses to "My Baby Has Crabs" on Fridays. That might be a little enlightening.
Very good song.
Oh, excellent.
You should leave me a copy of it.
And as far as Radcliffe there, is he going to be there indefinitely?
I honestly cannot answer the question. I do not know.
Well, bless his heart. I'd rather look at him than hear him on the radio. I mean, he's a good guy, but he just stands on the fence and doesn't seem like he wants to go one way or the other. And then I guess that brings us to you, Bob. And I think aside from the time slot, things are going pretty good. One thing that it's kind of irritating driving is every time the traffic report comes on, though, you and Gary spend so much time that it gets a little frustrating there. And I'd just like to say, you're beautiful, babe.
Take care.
I like your honesty, and I think you're a person that's very credible. And
thank you, sir. What advice do you have for the stars? This is an opportunity to tell all the people who work in talk radio in this market how you think they should do better.
Well, how
that's advice to the stars, right?
Well, just keep doing what they're doing.
Thank you ever so much. Temple Park? Temple Park? Whatever. Temple
hey,
Park.
Bobby, how you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Slums of Temple Terrace, east of Temple Terrace.
Is there really such a place called Temple Park?
Sure there is.
Okay.
Lived here for quite a few years.
Well, excuse my ignorance. I've never heard of it.
No problem. Well, I guess I have one suggestion for a kind of fun, interesting, yet light show, no doubt about that. I think it'd be kind of neat to talk about comic strips. There's a lot of people out there, regardless of, career, status, etc., who enjoy comic strips. I think that might offer a little wit one day, sometime.
Okay.
Another thing, too, I think it'd be kind of neat of you to have some people in there to interview sometimes. Not too often, because I basically like what you're doing. But someone who might agree with what you believe in.
No, forget it.
I know that.
There's nothing more boring.
It's a lot funner to have belligerents. I realize that.
Well, what possible interest is there to have somebody sitting across the table from you saying, yeah, I agree with everything you say, Bob, I think you're so damn smart.
Well, it doesn't have to be like that. You can both, play off one another and enlighten us a little bit and maybe educate us a little bit. I agree, though. It's a lot funner to clash. There's no doubt about that. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of becoming a semi-regular caller, and I like it a lot better when it's belligerent there, Bob. So just get off my line, you lousy rot brain.
990-9352 in Hillsborough, 461-9352 in Pinellas. Damn, my dial. Sounds to me like a Gary McHenry song.
I always agree with everything you say, Bob. Does that make me boring?
No, Gary, it's not what makes you boring.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Bob.
The truth, I was just sitting here going through the Howard's menu. I cannot fib about that. A lot of people like Howard's for this great menu of soups and salads and light entrees and sandwiches. A lot of people like Howard's because of the Thursday and Friday night happy hours, especially Friday night of the Pan Man Band playing out there next to the Hillsborough River, reggae music, the free hamburgers while they last, the cold beer. A lot of people like Howard's because of the express menu at lunchtime. Items under $4 ready to go out the door. But then the really tasteful people like Howard's because of the things like the sugar cookies and peanut butter cookies and the oatmeal raisin cookies and the chocolate chip cookies. And, of course, there are those who like Howard's because of the Colombo frozen yogurt or the key lime pie or the carrot cake or the brownies or even the cheesecake that'll knock your socks off. Howard's, 2 locations, the NCNB building in downtown Tampa. That's where you'll find the happy hour on Friday night out by the Hillsborough. And, of course, in Whaley's Shopping Center, 533 South Howard Avenue in Tampa. Howard's is pleased to offer their facilities for company parties and wedding receptions and private gatherings. Menu selections are available for informal gatherings right up to the most elegant. Howard's. Cookies are good. All the baked goods are good. Back to the telephones we go. One line open. It's in Pinellas County. The number 461-9352-461. WFLA Tampa. Hi, Tampa. You're on the air.
Yeah, I just want to say I don't like Lionel.
Oh, okay.
Can't stand the guy.
Well, that's not advice.
Well, yeah, but I give him advice. I think he should just leave the airways.
Oh.
And I think you're great, but I got a thing to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You know those pork rinds that you eat?
I don't eat pork rinds.
Well, they ought to make some out of your stomach.
Well, sir, again, you display your ignorance. Pork rinds are made out of the skin of the hog, not out of the stomach of the hog, and they could actually come from virtually any place on the pork. It is pork skin, sir. But perhaps the next time you call on the radio station, you'll ask the person who dials for you to see if this, what you're about to say makes any sense. Try it out on the person that's dialing for you to see if it makes any sense. Tampa, hi, Tampa, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hi, Bob.
Hi.
Al Gardner. Listen to him every morning. Sweet guy, but just once, I want to hear him say, look, this is a lousy morning. I'm hungover. I feel like garbage, and I don't want to talk to any of you.
Well, but suppose he doesn't feel that way. I mean, would you prefer that he just kind of make it up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think he needs somebody on there to kind of balance him out a bit. Let's see. Nobody has mentioned Jack Ellery, okay? And the reason I like Jack...
He was mentioned once or twice earlier.
Sir?
He was mentioned once or twice earlier. There are still two people who work in the market who have yet to receive one mention.
Well, all that Jack can do, if he could get... He had a remarkable combination of being pompous and dumb at the same time.
It was a remarkable ability that he has,
Yeah, and if he could increase that, I might switch over.
That utterly phony laugh. I don't think Jack Ellery has ever in his entire life laughed for real.
Yeah, I hear you. Now, Liz, I think Liz is a lovely, charming lady, and I think that you guys need a woman's perspective, regardless of, whatever little difference you guys are having. Now, as regarding yourself, I want to take a real exception with one caller said that you're not prepared or something. Well, when you do serious subjects, I know that you have really researched the subject, and you got all the backup material and that you need to cover any aspect of it, and that's, I think, one of your strengths. You are really best at doing serious subjects and interviews. And what is shafting you right now is this time slot thing you're in with all the sports headlines, the news headlines, the traffic headlines.
There are no more breaks during this time slot than there were between noon to 3. No more breaks at all.
Bob, well, maybe I don't listen. I don't catch. I never did catch the midday stuff too soon. But I drive home in this stuff, and I drive to work. And
the breaks are slightly longer, but there are no more breaks. Same number.
Well, I know when you used to do serious stuff in the morning, you could just go on and on.
You're remembering a show that took place a year and a half ago at night, not one that existed on the station. You're remembering something that happened at night.
No.
On a different station.
Well, no.
Sir, I know what I do.
Okay, well, let me suggest this to you, too, if I could. I've kind of come to identify you kind of with the Morton Downey School of Entertainment, and... Now you're really
insulting me.
No,
I don't
know
what the hell he's doing.
But it seems like some of the stuff you do is, it hooks you at first, but then after a while, you get bored with I don't watch that guy anymore. And, I still like you, when you're doing serious stuff, but I really think that, and, you don't agree, but this time slot is really shooting you in the tail.
Sir, I'm going to tell you one more time, you're remembering something that happened a year and a half ago at night on a different radio station. Sorry, you cannot do at any time of the day what you can do at night. You just can't do it, sir. It's a whole different audience. I'm sorry that you don't remember it correctly, but, hey, thanks anyway. 990-9352 in Hillsborough, 461-9352 in Pinellas. Don Richards standing by at the WFLA News.
And I like the Al Gardner show. He's a little too up, though, sometimes that early in the morning. And I really like it when he has Captain Mel on. And that's about it.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Be good. This is astonishing. This is like the second or third person that is in essence that I wish Al would come in the morning in a bad mood. That is interesting. Don Richards at the WFLA News Desk. Donald.
Frank Lorenzo says
I can cook hamburgers probably better than most places. So I want a special kind of a meal, and I want a special kind of a presentation as well. I mean, yeah, sure, I can carry the pot over from the stove to the table wearing my flip-flops, but it's a lot better when I'm out for the evening having professional service. That's one of the reasons I like Cobb's Cove. The food, it's incredible. Unbelievable. That's the kind of stuff I can cook at home, and I'm not a bad cook. The service is professional, it is personalized, and yet it's not stuffy. The tableside service, the candlelight dining, the piano bar with Howard. It's all part of the total package at Cobb's Cove. Let me give you the address. 13155 Gulf Boulevard in Madeira Beach. The telephone number, 393-3448. Tableside service, flambe desserts, quality. Cobb's Cove, 13155 Gulf Boulevard, Madeira Beach. Back to the telephones. Let's see, East Lake. Hi, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello, Bob.
Hi.
Well, first of all, I'd like to comment about Lionel, give him some advice.
Uh-huh.
I think he needs to work on being a little bit more consistent. Sometimes I really enjoy his shows, but some of them have just been utter nonsense, and I just, I just turn them off when they're like that. And when you have serious programs also, political programs, I like the monologues when you do them.
Well, so do I, but unfortunately nobody calls.
Well, I like them.
People, I guess, are so awestruck with the monologues, they just sit there staring at their radios and forget to take part in the conversation.
Well, anyway, what I really called for, though, was to give Liz some advice.
Mm-hmm.
I like Liz. I think WFLA is really not doing her right. They're jerking her around. And if I would give her some advice, I'd tell her that when her contract's ready to be, when it runs out or whatever, that she would make an effort to go to a station where they appreciate her and would use her talent. I appreciate having the woman's point of view on there, and she'll talk about local issues and relationships. And I enjoy Liz, and I don't like what they've done to her. I don't know why. I don't understand what's going on, but I don't like it.
It's a very complicated story. Someday maybe you will know, but it's an extremely complicated story is all I can really say.
Okay, well, that's what I had to say about it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Off it is now to Tampa. Hi there, Tampa. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hi, Bob. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Have you tried Frederick's at the Sheridan Grand?
Have I tried Frederick's at the Sheridan Grand? Are you talking about one of those places that sells weird lingerie?
No.
The restaurant? No, I have not.
Delicious food.
Okay.
But anyways, my advice to the other talk show hosts, Lionel and Liz, I think they need to follow your act in that you help keep the callers on the subject. I think some of these callers need to check their underwear because it really is squeezing their brains because they're not thinking before they call.
Uh-huh.
That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you very much. Where is it now? Let's go to Safety Harbor. Hi there, Safety.
Hi, Bob.
Hi.
How's it going?
Fine, thank you.
All right. That was a good line that last lady had there. Underwear, squeezing their brains. My advice, first off, starts off with a compliment. I like the different personalities. I think you all have unique personalities, and it comes across quite well on the air. I listen to Al Gardner in the morning on the way into work, and his programs are usually quite informative.
Well, may I say something?
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that this station does or doesn't do that I vehemently disagree with. This is not exactly a love fest that goes on here between Lassiter and WFLA by any stretch of the imagination, but never have I worked for, nor am I aware of, an organization that does allow what we refer to loosely in this business as talent to do what they do. It's, you speak of we have different personalities. We have different personalities because we're permitted to. Other stations you're not permitted to.
Right.
And that the credit for that goes to the station.
Well, that's important. One thing I have a little trouble with, years ago I used to work as a disc jockey, radio announcer, and at that time the FCC required licensing, and I understand that they're a little more lax on that.
No, the FCC only required licensing to take care of to look at the meters.
Right. Well,
it had nothing to do with what you said on the air.
Okay. Well, in any event, one thing I have trouble with is the amount of swearing on the air. I remember going through these classes and testing and everything, and there were fines for swearing on the air.
No, fine for obscenity.
I don't mind.
Sir, the fines were for obscenity. And those rules haven't changed.
They're still basically the same. So
They sure are.
You can swear on the air and not get in trouble.
Well, you know, what are we talking about swearing here? You know, we said obscenity.
Yeah.
You know, saying damned is not obscene.
No. But several other things I've heard on the station have, I thought, bordered on obscenity. And that's my only complaint.
How would you like to go to the Renaissance Fair?
That'd be all right.
Okay, let me put you on hold. My producer will get your name and address and tell you how to pick up the tickets to go to the Renaissance Fair any weekend between now and April 16th. My goodness, it's time for me to go. We'll do it again tomorrow at 3, okay? Behave yourself.